Tuesday radio program, Sunday radio show. God knows what the hell is all this, but we are going to get everything going here. We got to get a hold of our first guest. They are going to join us here on Skip Skype here in just a few seconds. What in the world? Get a hold of us online, JiggyJaguar.us. Also, the mix on Tuesdays. The mix, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to find our first guest here.
Hello?
And there's our first guest. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Pretty good, actually. I've got to get our co-host here, J. Bird Wells, brought into the mix, and here on the mix. And we are going to have our first guest join us here in just a few seconds. And I believe there is Jay. Jay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, well, we've got our first guest with us. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, my friend.
Hi, I'm Lucas Magyar. I play in a band called The Airway, and we're out of Wisconsin.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about the band, man.
Generally, I would say rock-influenced. It's been around for a short period of time. We've actually just got our first show coming up here in December, which I can't give away too much about because it isn't announced yet. But we just put out our first single called In Case You've Been Wondering under our label New Industry. And, we're pretty excited. We have another single coming out on the 1st of November, which is very soon here. And then our album, titled Drifter, comes out December 6th. So, exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to it.
We've got a great guest with us today. They join us live here on our big program, coast to coast, border to border, on The Mix, here on The Mix. And, of course, if you join us each and every week, check out our Sunday radio program each and every Sunday at JiggyJaguar.com. And so how'd you guys get started as a group?
Most of us, we're a four-piece, and I've known everyone for quite some time. I grew up in the same town as our bass player, Aaron, and we've had other bands together. And over the duration of those bands, we happened to come in contact with the other two individuals, Isaiah, our the guitarist, and Julian, our drummer. So just our bands from back in the day coming up in the same sort of area in Wisconsin. We just kind of got to know each other then, and later on in life, we all finally found the time to meet up and get serious about a project together.
Awesome. We've got
you guys.
Now, Jay, go ahead. I know you got some questions, my friend.
Did you guys just start practicing together, or how did that happen? Where you just started playing together?
I just started working on writing some music acoustically, mostly by myself for a little bit, and I knew that I was looking for a full band sound, so I had to reach out to some of the people who would be willing to join me. So that's kind of how it came about. I reached out to those three guys, Aaron, Julian, and Isaiah, and they were down to jump on board and help me out. So honestly, it just kind of started in the studio right away. We didn't really jump into practicing or rehearsing. We really wanted to get an album done and then kind of move forward from there and kind of let that carry us. So that's what we did.
If you could take two bands, how would you describe your band?
It's very mellow, just a chill rock vibe. When I was younger, I got into a lot of bands such as like Fall Out Boy and Paramore, and like Boys Like Girls, and there's so many bands from that like early 2000 era that probably had a pretty heavy influence. Even bands like Silverstone Pickups, I got into a little bit, so you might hear a little bit of that sort of reference in there. But yeah, it sounds like a pretty good collection of just general rock music, I think.
We've got some great guests with us today. They join us live here on our big broadcast, and J. Bird Wells with us today here on our program as well, our special co-host. And now you guys are all over social media. You guys are all over Facebook, Twitter, websites, everything. How can people find you?
Yeah, so we have, as we release stuff, it gets updated on New Industry's website, our label. You can run into a lot of stuff on there, but we have the general Facebook and Twitter, Instagram. On Instagram, you can look us up under the Airway Music, I do believe. I'll have to double check that, actually. And then on Twitter and Facebook, you can search us under the Airway Official.
Fantastic. And we have got two great guests, or we've got a heck of a deal today to kick off our big broadcast here. Now, getting ready for this first show, what are some of the things that you're doing in the planning stages for this?
Well, I gotta get my stuff in gear because I have to play guitar and sing. So we're trying to get all that worked out. And then one of our guys recently, well, actually not too recently, it was late last year already. He moved out to LA in pursuit of his a lot of the ventures he's working on. So we gotta fly him back for practices. So that's always interesting. But I mean, it's not nothing too difficult, nothing too draining. I enjoy my rehearsal time. So we just kind of sit around and practice on our own time, and then before the show, we'll probably get together for 2 or 3 days, and then all four of us will finally run through the songs and get everything polished up, and then we hit the road.
Did you say that you had to fly him in to play?
Yes.
Wow.
How do you guys cover some of the expenses like that? I mean, are you selling enough albums to cover that?
Absolutely not. The album hasn't even hit the market yet. We want to do it real bad. We're already, Isaiah and myself are relatively established in the music industry already, and this is just something that we wanted to add in to keep us going and keep things fresh. So we just decided it's an expense that we're going to take on and just kind of work through it. At first, it'll be a little bit difficult because as a band, we aren't making a ton of money. But in the end, I believe that'll go away. It's just going to be like anything else, whether you're paying for PR or paying to do an album or a video. It's just an expense that you kind of have to absorb for the time being, and then move on as soon as you get the chance to.
You heard it here. Follow your dreams, man.
That is a heck of a deal. So, why did you guys decide that it was better to just take on the expense and everything rather than just say, hey, you're not here, so we're moving on without you?
His talent is, he's a hard one to match. I thoroughly enjoy writing music with Isaiah. He's just phenomenal. He brings a lot to the table, and, honestly, if he didn't help with this album, I just don't think it would have turned out the way that it did. So it's just worth it. He's a great guy. It's hard to find people who you can really gel with and get along with, especially when you're in close quarters with them for long periods of time. So, knowing him and everyone knowing him, it's just a situation where it's kind of like the perfect storm, and going out of our way to potentially put us in jeopardy just doesn't seem like a wise decision. I'd rather just, deal with it and know that we're going to have a good time and that the content that we're creating is going to be up to par and exactly what we want to be doing. So it's just entirely worth it. I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it, because then I do get inside my head and go, oh man, I really don't want to pay this. But it's not a big deal. It's not as bad as it seems, really.
Yeah.
What kind of merchandise are you going to have?
I actually just finally put in our shirt order. So we have a shirt that we'll have out with us, and it's got the album art on it, which is cool for me because my brother did the album art for us. And then we have our physical copies printed. So for this first show, that may be all we're taking. And then when we start touring, I'm sure we'll have a couple designs out on the road as well as our album.
Totally rock on. Cool, dude.
We've got some great guests with us today. They join us live here on our broadcast, and they're getting ready to play their very first show here very soon. And we've learned a heck of a lot about them so far. And so you talked about your brother doing the album art and some of these other things. Tell us about some of the other people that are helping you along the way with this.
So, as I mentioned a couple times, New Industry, that's actually a company that I'm a partner of, and funny enough, Isaiah's a partner of it as well. And the company does several different things. We can do anything from management to audio, video production, as well as playing the labor role. So, they're really able to kind of reach out to bands and cater to them, which is a lot of fun for us. And then, my brother is an excellent graphic designer. It's not exactly what he does primarily. He works in business advertising, but he does his job very well. And I seem to reach out to him, and in need of a favor, he's always there for me, and I appreciate him very much for that.
We've got some great guests with us today. They join us live here on Skype Audio today here on The Mix. And a lot of good things going on with this band. Now, how have you guys, besides the band practice and putting everything together, how are you getting ready for this whole thing?
Me, myself, other than just having to play guitar on a pretty daily or consistent basis, I got to do a lot of vocal conditioning as well, make sure the voice holds up. But luckily, I think the set's probably only about 30, maybe 35 minutes. 40 at the very most, which I'm relatively used to, so I don't see it being too much of an issue. But when I'm really on top of my game, I'll get my physical conditioning up as well, and I'll go out and jog and do things like that to kind of make sure that my energy level stays, relatively high throughout the duration of the show. But we'll see if I get around to that before this one. I have a lot on my plate at the moment.
Do you have any kind of costumes you're gonna wear, or some kind of a theme uniform?
We dress pretty casually. Nothing too crazy. Definitely no masks or makeup, but I mean, kind of like I say our style on stage or in promos, the band look is pretty dress casual. Maybe jeans and a blazer or something simple like that, but just clean looking.
Definitely can tell that you've been open and honest and everything, so it sounds like you're going to be pretty good for coming to listen to.
Now,
well, I hope.
now with your music and some of your stuff, do you guys have anything anywhere online that we can direct people to that we might be able to even pull up and listen to today?
Yeah. Yes, we do. So we do have a video out for some, in case you've been wondering. That is, you can look up on YouTube, you can look up The Airway, in case you've been wondering, and it should pull you to a video that's actually posted on New Industry's channel. And we have 2 songs from the album that currently aren't released anywhere else that are actually up on New Industry's website at the bottom of the homepage. So if you were to go to newindustry.net, and then scroll down to that homepage, you'll find those 2 songs. In fact, I do believe the full music video has recently been uploaded to that homepage as well. So you can also find that. And basically anything that's going on with the band currently will be on New Industry's homepage. The Spotify account will be active on December 6th, I do believe, when the album actually goes out. And we have some pre-orders starting on November 6th. So before the album comes out, you can pre-order it. But yeah, very new, but we do have stuff out there now that you can find, and there's more to come very soon. Again, as I mentioned a little bit ago, on the 1st of November, we have another video called I Know I'm Not Dreaming, which is also coming out on that same YouTube channel. So yeah, slowly but surely, our content is getting released, and yeah, we're very excited. It's been a couple years in the making already, but this is our first album. It always takes a little while longer the first time because there's more to prepare. But here we are.
Fantastic. We have got some great guests with us today, and we are going to do this. I'm going to attempt to put you guys on hold and we are going to play the music. So Skype has recently updated itself, and so, of course, when it updates itself, it changes everything. So nobody knows anything about how to use any of this crap anymore. And so we are
They must learn from Facebook.
I'll tell you, I just honestly don't know what the deal with this stuff is, because for whatever reason, you can call people on Skype. It's a hell of a deal. Apparently now you can record calls on Skype. Hell of a deal. But basic understanding of the actual call and how to work it. You can leave groups. You can manage groups. You can do all sorts of stuff. There's just no way to put anybody on hold on Skype. So it is far from perfect, my friends. It is an absolute train wreck. But so tell us about this music video while we're thinking about this. Tell us about the music video.
Sure thing. I actually shot and directed the video, which was a lot of fun for me. I had a couple of my friends from the town that I currently live in called Eau Claire. They acted in it for me, which was a lot of fun. I actually wrote the song while I was out on the road on tour, and I was just kind of reflecting on how much I missed my significant other at the time. So that's the direction of the song, and luckily the two people I had working for me on set, they were a couple, and are currently a couple. So the acting was pretty seamless. It's very believable. They did a great job, and it was a lot of fun to work on, and I'm very happy with it. I think it turned out quite well.
So who helped you produce this and put this together?
That was on New Industry. We did that project ourselves. So a gentleman that we work with, his name is Peter Doucette. He also helped me shoot and assistant direct, and then he did all the editing and the coloring, actually, on the video.
Fantastic. Now, if people want to find you guys on Facebook, how do we do this?
I think it is the Airway Official, and actually I have my laptop up here right in front of me. Sometimes I get these handles a little mixed up, but I'm quite positive it is the Airway Official. I'm just going to double check real quick.
The Airway with us today here in our broadcast. Jaybird Wells joins us on our program as well. And this music video, absolutely amazing. It is all over YouTube. It is a amazing deal. It's called In Case You've Been Wondering. It's on YouTube.com, and search the New Industry channel. And they have In Case You've Been Wondering. It's almost got 1,000 views up there. It is a heck of a deal. And we have got one of the main guys from the Airway with us today here on Skype Audio. And you guys are all over Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You've got the first show coming up, the debut show from the Airway coming up here very soon. So Facebook, how do we find you? We got a lot of people that follow us on Facebook. A lot of people use Facebook. It's a huge deal. How do we find you?
Yes, I have confirmed that it is indeed the Airway Official.
The Airway
Official. So if you type that up in the search bar, you should be able to find it.
Fantastic. Well, Jay, do you have any? Are you still with us, my friend? Can you hear us? I think we've lost Jay.
Okay.
I think we've lost Jay, but we've got our next guest calling in here in just a few. We'll get. There she is. There she is. And she's out sharing your stuff and stalking you guys, doing all the usual stuff. Well, before we let you go, man, how do we find this music video on YouTube? The next show, when is this show scheduled for, so people can find you? Get out there, support you.
I believe the date is the 15th of December. Unfortunately, at this current moment, you probably won't be able to find anything online. It's a little too early, and nothing's been announced as far as I know. But as soon as we do have the rest of the information and a promo for it, we will definitely be putting that information all over the interwebs for everyone.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I've got to get to my next guest. I appreciate it, and
Sure thing.
thanks for being with us. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me. Take care, guys.
Appreciate it, man. And we are going to play, in case you've been wondering, The Airway.